was 12 years old. I was in we don't use grades in Kenya, we do standard 1 to 8. So we copy the British, but not entirely. So when I was in class 7, I had my girly problems. First time, I didn't even know what to do with it. And I was sitting in class and I'm thinking, what's happening to me? There's a warm feeling somewhere. And we had to go for lunch. And some of the kids in the class never used to go home for lunch. So they would stay and carry their lunch boxes and eat in class. So I said, okay, I'm going to wait until everyone leaves class. Then I'll get up and go home. I'm sitting there, there's 2 girls having their lunch in class. They're not leaving the class. And I'm thinking, come on guys, go home and change when I come back. And I was sitting there for like 2 hours. They didn't leave and the entire class came back. So I couldn't move until 5 o'clock. I was literally when I was going home, I was stuck to the seat.
Oh,
it got dry and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Very gross, very graphic. And then I had to, we didn't have a cell phone at the time, since of course. So I was sitting there when the class went home, and I'm thinking, if I get up, I'm gonna be late, and my mom is gonna kill me. I didn't have a sweater to wrap myself, which comes in very handy. So I just decided to just walk home like that and just deal with the booing and all the jests as I went home. And from that day, this is my most traumatic thing. Most of the girls when they start at that time, they use the pads. Sorry, boys. They use the pads.
You asked the question.
It's very detailed.
But
I did not see that coming.
I made a very conscious decision as a very young girl to use tampons. I was not scared. I thought fair enough. All right, there you go.
Thank you for
Try not to name it. That is, like I said, not as easy as it sounds.
Okay. So this exercise involves a room. There is blackout curtains.
Blackout curtains.
Blackout curtains. There is, in some people's houses, a box that has pictures. And you normally do this exercise when you're in very relaxed clothes. Sometimes they're matching. And you normally sit in a very soft, rectangular, sometimes square type of furniture. And most people like to do that activity just before they
Go to sleep.
Yes. Can you guess what it is?
yoga.
Oh, no.
Meditation?
No.
I was about to say developing photographs because it's blacked out.
So I don't know.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
Does it include a lake?
Keeping it clean, Sasha.
No. It's a big rectangular surface, sometimes 200 by 200.
What
I
centimeters?
figured it out.
Yes. With a soft
Seating.
yeah.
Well, it's a bit sleeping.
Almost close.
What is it?
Oh, sleeping.
Praying?
No.
It's like a
It
bed
can be
before
included.
sleeping?
TV watching in bed.
That's
Oh.
I got
Ah,
you.
the bomb.
So, what is a leader? For me, it's somebody who inspires, somebody who brings people together, somebody who gets the best out of people. So what I'm going to describe is more what I describe as management styles than leadership styles, because leadership is, for me, there's only one definition. So the first one I have is an authoritative leader. This is somebody who actually leads by example and somebody who tells you, follow my example, try to do what I do. The effect on productivity depends on what part of your career you're at. This is a good leader that will be relevant for my own example. When I was working for the Intercom, was my first job when I left university. I didn't know much about the hotel industry. I'm coming from a Bachelor of Commerce degree, completely nothing to do with the hotel industry, and I walked into this environment and I needed somebody to tune my mind to what the hotel industry was about. So I had a great British guy who was, Levent was my boss at the time, and he was an authoritative leader, so I had to copy his example to learn what I was doing. And that worked very well, but for the people that are veteran hoteliers around me, it was not a very good leadership style for them because there's no room for you to be yourself, so you all end up being clones. So you surround yourself with people that are actually the same like you, so you don't get this different perspective to business, how you can solve problems. So that's one example. It encourages cloning, it encourages people kind of just waiting for you to do what you're doing so they can copy. Doesn't encourage creativity, doesn't encourage people to lead. They just wait for you. The second example of leadership management style, I would say, is coercion, where people tell you what to do. So this is also, some people say, living by fear. So I experienced this with another hotel chain that I was working for. I was working for the Hilton. So I moved from the authoritarian example and I went to the coercive environment where I had to be told what to do every day. So this completely deprives you of motivation. When you wake up in the morning, you don't even have to think what you're going to do today because somebody's going to tell you what to do. So for 2 years, I had my midlife crisis when I was 30 because of that. Because I was empty, you know. I didn't feel like when I wake up in the morning, I'm in the shower. Normally, I plan my day in the shower. I didn't even need to. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take a shower today because I'm going to be told what to do. So I get to work in the morning. You have a meeting told Diana today. You have to go here, 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 and then you come back. You have a debrief. And when you come back for the debrief, if you didn't bring back the information the boss is expecting, you actually get a big racket, you know, they really tell you off. So after 2 years, I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. So all of us were like very lazy. We became lazy because we didn't feel we had to be creative. We didn't feel like we had to motivate ourselves because in the end, we're going to be told what to do. So 2 years I left, and then I was very lucky to join Fairmont at the time. And I arrived, and just when I arrived for my interview, I was at Fairmont Dubai, people my interview at Fairmont Dubai. Even the valet, you can see the valet, his energy was different from where I was coming from Intercon and Hilton. And later I realized because the Fairmont management here I can use the word leadership. Leadership skills was one of affiliation, where the people come first. The employees come first. The employees are empowered. The employees are motivated. So the minute you arrive, when you go to a hotel, and the next time you go to different hotels on Southeast, when you go into a hotel, normally you have to approach the employees. In Fairmont, it's different. The employees approach you to find out if you're okay, if you've been helped, if you know where you're going. So it's a bit of it was for me, it was a very pleasant surprise. And then when I did my interview, when I started my job the first week, I was told I could check into the hotel and stay in the hotel for, I think it was 3 days or 4 days, as an anonymous guest. The employees didn't know that I was going to be a future employee. So I checked in and I was told to order room service and do all these things. And I was making notes for everything. So the service, how the person who came to see me was. So by the time I started my job, I had feedback on how the employees of the different segments were working. So for me, that was a very good example of management leadership style because every morning I woke up, I knew today my ideas would be listened to. I knew today that I could do something to change the way the environment works, the hotel works. I knew that my contribution was valid. And then we had this amazing general manager. What was his name? Kale?
Michael Bell.
Oh my God, this guy is just, he had the presence. He just walks in and you feel like someone has really walked in the room. And I remember my interview with him was the weirdest interview I've ever had. This is mind-blowing. So I had my interview with the director of sales, with the director of sales and marketing, Mariana, and then Russell. And then the GM just asked to see me, and he had a glass door, and he could see through the glass door. So we were sitting at the end, we were still in the pre-opening office, and I could see him sitting there. So when he asked them to call me, I could see when I was walking from like 10 meters away, he was looking at the way I was walking in. He was gauging my presence. He wanted to see what kind of a personality I brought into the room. And when I got in, I sat down like, done, go. Like, the interview was done. That's it. So later I realized, because we're in the service industry, he was looking for the first 3 seconds or 2 seconds? When you make
first impression.
Yeah, exactly. So for him, if I had failed that, I would not have been hired. Because Everything was ready, HR was ready to hire me, but said, you have to wait for Michael Carroll to decide if you're coming. So that was the interview, just watching me come in, my body language, my presence, and I always give this example everywhere I go. Fairmont for me was the best learning experience because there's so much empowerment, there's so much trust between the employees and the managers. The managers actually sometimes are terrified because the employees judge. They determine whether you get your quarter 5 incentive, right? So you can miss your quarter 5 incentive because the employees did not think you were a very good manager that time, and the employees were also that hard. So for me, this is the only one I can call a leadership style. The others for me are more managerial styles.
I can actually second that.